Okay, we're going to have that interview with Leroy Burgess right now.
Glossy. This is Sound Fusion Radio with DJ Gloss.
Now, if you remember rightly, and you were with us on Tuesday night, you'll remember that we did the Leroy Burgess special there, and the interview was taken all together for the two features. So this is also in pieces, and I will join the pieces together as seamlessly as I possibly can for you.
Bonjour.
Hello there. Is that Leroy Burgess?
Yeah, no, you haven't dialed France. It's me.
Hi, how you doing?
Good afternoon to you.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm very well indeed, thank you very much, Mr. Burgess. Is it okay if I call you Leroy?
Sure.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, first of all, let me express our deepest sympathy for your recent family bereavement and respect there, sir. I was told about it by our producer, Anna, and our thoughts are with you.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome, sir. And I would also like to thank you for the drop you did for me. I don't know if you remember doing it probably last year sometime for DJ Gloss.
Oh yes, I do. I do. I still have that. In one of my folders. Yeah, I still have it. I remember.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Burgess. That was
the
great.
pleasure is indeed mine. I do appreciate. It's nice to be appreciated, and it's nice to have recognition. So I'm very, very grateful for your efforts in my behalf. It's a two-way street,
It certainly is. Well, we're very thankful for your music as well, and I often use your drop around tunes that are either yours or ones that you were involved in. So, and it's very popular on the station. They even ask me to play it from time to time, which is quite nice.
Well, that's cool.
That's good stuff. I was going to ask you if we could go back to sort of the early beginnings in music with you. What sort of started things off with you, if you don't mind me asking, please, Leroy?
No. I mean that's one of the first questions, the initial questions. How did it start? What are the beginnings and stuff like that? Very quickly, I started playing piano. I started singing when I was about 3 years old.
Wow.
When being taken to church with my mom and family. I started playing, or learning to play when I was 4. And it was kind of a hidden secret passion of mine because my mother also sang, but, everybody was, my family was very into making sure that I had my scholastics in order.
Yes,
and getting good grades and getting good marks and not distracted by the allure of music, particularly at a young age. So I kept it kind of hidden. But I secretly continued to learn and so forth and so on. Fast forward to age 11 when we moved from one housing complex in Harlem to another.
Yeah.
And at the second housing complex, I was blessed to be taken under the wing of Maestro Herbie Jones, who was Duke Ellington's chief rhythm and brass arranger.
Yes.
And he just took a shine to me and really liked me. And, he kind of focused my musical abilities and gave me my first dedicated tutelage.
Wow.
About 3 years after that, I met the gentleman who would bring me into the Mellow Souls, which was basically a 5-man group, ultimately. And that group eventually evolved into the trio that is Black Ivory.
Yes, yeah.
And then through the person that brought me into the group, Larry Newkirk, we met Patrick Adams. And Patrick took a shine to the group, and Patrick took us under his wing. And, we worked for a while. doing shows, doing talent shows and stuff like that to try to, get our name known in the area as well as get our chops up in terms of performing and stuff like that, because we had gone from the amateur state to trying to be professional.
Yeah.
While working on our first record. Around in late 69, early 1970, Patrick worked out a situation so that we could record our first recording, Don't Turn Around, which was on Today Records.
Yes, yep.
And from that time, that was where everything started. 1970, 1971, with the release of Don't Turn Around and the subsequent release of the Don't Turn Around album. So those were my first things, my first release recordings in the music business.
Well, wonderful there. And we move on to talk about South Soul now, and this section was included on Tuesday night, but I felt that it gave relevance and it actually joins the sections that we play later in this interview. So this is Leroy talking about South Soul. Well, this is it, Leroy. The wonderful foundations laid back then are sampled so much in house music, as you well know, and and also in R&B and across the board, even in hip hop and so on. So it's amazing how much is getting reused. Really, I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that I was able to produce music that people still care about, people still want to listen to, and thereby people, the new artists of today are interested in sampling and interacting with. That's very cool for me because that's something I always wanted to do, to have my music extend through generations to other people and inspire other people. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, that's really great. And, you did Workers Log back in the 80s. Seriously good funky bass lines on. You've got That Something. That's a real great tune. Really enjoying that one. And I Know You Will. Awesome vocal on that one. Absolutely great.
I Know You Will was the entire Log album was one of. It was just so filled with joy. There was so much energy, so much love, so much joy during that project. Everybody had so much fun. It was just so much fun. The group of us, myself, at this time it was myself, James, and Sonny Davenport, my cousin, had joined the team, the central team.
Yeah.
And, along with my sister Renee, Dorothy Terrell, Sonny DeGraff and Reed, Fred McFarlane. We all just went in the studio, once the songs were composed, and had an amazing time of it. It was, I stress how much fun those sessions was, and I think that fun translated into the recordings.
It does, yeah, without
because we were just energetic. We were just energetic and trying to gel together and vibe together. So. That energy is kind of captured in that recording.
And yeah, definitely. And I think it's a kind of a South Soul thing, because I got the same thing when I did an interview with Bunny Siegler, and I got a very similar feeling from him about South Soul. Would you say that was particular with that label, or just fun for you guys being together?
South Soul was, amongst the many labels that I've worked with, South Soul was one of the most supportive. You had access to the hierarchy, the president, chairman of the board, all of the people, and they had a genuine interest in you. You didn't feel like, I never felt like, just another artist on South Soul. I felt like I was as important to them as anyone that they had.
Good.
That support that I always had from South Soul Records was something that I was always grateful for, the support and the freedom. I think another one of the reasons why Log came out so wonderful was because South Soul just supported you and then let you go. They did not second guess or look over your shoulder through the whole project, and they just were behind you. So that vibe it translated to many of the South Soul records.
Yeah, and gave you a sort of a free rein to be creative in your own way without too much sort of overlooking, which is great.
Yeah, you know how it is. I mean, some executive producers, record companies, and so forth and so on. They're breathing down the necks of the producers, the artists, and so forth in such a way as to impede their freedom and creativity.
Yeah.
Salsa was just the opposite. They did everything that they could to make sure that the artists and the producers felt supported.
Wow.
You know? So, and it was just that's what made salsa so great. That's why I went back to them so many times.
Well, you know, and it certainly works. You know, so you know, whenever you're flipping through some old 12-inch singles, you know, you always pull out the salsa ones. It's a habit that DJs have. You know, you know, it's a great habit too. And Leroy Burgess there talking about Soul Records and his involvement with them. He now goes on to talk about how he feels incredibly blessed by what's happened in his musical career.
Well, you know, I consider it all an immense and immeasurable blessing for you know, this to have in my life so far. You know, I can't. You know, I can't complain about anything. I'm really, you know, I'm just very, very happy that, you know, my music is appreciated and received and well received and, you know, inspiring and doing things in people's lives. I'm just very happy about that.
And Leroy, somebody said to me the other day, it's easier to say the tunes and music that you weren't involved in than it is to say the ones that you were. So there you go.
Well, my thing is, I love music, and if there's an opportunity for me to do work or to do anything, you know, and people contact me, it's just that easy. You know, usually if it's a song something that I like,
yeah.
If it's a song that I like and stuff like that, or even if it isn't, I want to be involved because it's music.
Wonderful.
You know, so that's why, you know, I'm kind of all over the place. And, you know, because I'm blessed to have a lot of wonderfully talented and amazing friends.
Wonderful.
And, you know, blessed that they give me a call and consider, you know, my contribution, you know, something that they want. So I'm really happy about that.
That's lovely, and we're certainly blessed to have you on such a lovely interview here on Sound Fusion Radio. Right, and now we move across to an item that wasn't included in the special regarding his involvement with Concrete Records. We touched on sort of some of the 90s stuff, and Concrete was a label that you joined, I think, 91, was that 1990?
I didn't actually sign with Concrete Records. Concrete was what became of Nia Records. Which was the Aleen's label.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
After Nia Records kind of dissolved during the time we were with Atlantic Records, and then instead of reopening Nia, they opened a new label called Concrete. And you know, the Aleens were my boys; they my friends and my brothers for a lifetime. So when they did that, I was, you know, still on board, and whatever they wanted me to become a part of, I was just happy to do.
That's wonderful. Well, maybe we should talk a little bit more about the Alooms and you know, what you did with them, if that's okay with you.
No problem at all. Albert and Arthur Allen, the twins,
yes,
from they happened to live in the building that I lived in, 200 West 143rd Street in Harlem.
Yeah.
And they lived on the 17th floor. I lived on the 11th floor. And we'd known each other all our lives, but we had never worked professionally together. In '69, when I was doing the Black Opry stuff, they were working with Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And it was only until '78 that they approached me. This is long after Hendrix had passed on. And they approached me with, you know, an arrangement. They had these two great songs, Summertime and Hooked on Your Love, that they had, you know, they heard about my arrangement style and stuff like that, and they contracted me as an arranger of both the rhythm and the strings and horns and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
So I went in, I did charts for it, and we put together the music. Initially, Tahaka Aleem sang the lead vocal, but he was unhappy with his performance. and asked me if I would be so kind as to take a shot at the lead vocals, which I did, and they loved it.
Nice. Yeah.
And that began the Lean Burgess relationship. From there, that evolved into the second song that we did together was Get Down Friday Night.
Yeah.
And that was followed by Release Yourself, Get Loose, Confusion, then the Casually Formal album and the Shock album. And then the material that we did for Concrete Records, which I think was 2 or 3 records that we did as singles.
Wow. There you go. It's just...
they're good guys. They're good brothers. Again, they are one of the blessings in my life to have them as friends and colleagues. And, they're just amazingly creative and amazingly talented.
So lovely to hear you refer to your colleagues in that way. That's absolutely wonderful. Right, we're going to move into the last section now, and we will run over time. The interview today is going to go over half an hour, so it will eat into what would normally be the slice of reggae. But this interview is just too important, and too much information is available here not to bring it to you, the lovely listener. There was almost an hour of footage that was taken the day that we had the interview on the telephone, and it's all so relevant. And if you follow Leroy Burgess, as I know I do and many of our listeners do, then you're going to want to listen to everything this man says. So in the last section, coming a little bit more into the late 90s, you did a song, Moment of My Life, which basically Michelle Weeks and Bobby D'Ambrosio.
Right. Bobby decided to cover the song that I'd written for Jocelyn Brown and Inner Life. Sonny and I had written for Jocelyn Brown and Inner Life on South Soul.
All right. Yeah.
And while I had nothing to do directly with that record, it was a cover of my composition. And I understand it did very, very well, particularly in the UK.
Yeah, it was did very well in the UK, and still is. Actually, there was a remix in 2013, this year, and I played it on a house show. I do a soulful house show on a Thursday night. Only just a few weeks back, that featured on our Soulful House show here on this station. So, that's why it came to my attention, because I recognised the tune straight away and remember it from '97. Remembered the remix from 2013. I just thought I'd ask you about it. So that's brilliant.
Yeah. I was very, very pleased to hear, one, that the song had been covered, and two, that it had done so exceedingly well. It's a cool song. I remember the composition of it when Jocelyn came to meet with Sonny and I, and this is after we had worked together on a lot of occasions, Dazzle, Inner Life, several things. And we sat down with Jocelyn and we said, well, what do you want the song to be about? And she said, well, she was in a transition, from new boyfriend, new house, just getting her life together and so forth and so on, and feeling like this was, this moment was the beginning of her life.
Yeah.
And kind of looking at the things in the past and leaving those things behind you and moving forward into your future. And that was a great concept. Yeah. So Jocelyn Brown is actually responsible for the concept of Moment of My Life. Wow.
See, now that's part of the story that just listening to the records, we just don't get that part of the story. So, that's what's so lovely about bringing an interview to air. It's it just adds so much to the tunes that we know and love, but we don't know the stories behind them the same. And thank you for that. That's brilliant. Thank you.
No problem.
I saw a video of you with some students in 2004. I think it may have been in Rome.
Yes, it was at the Red Bull Music Academy, and they were kind enough to ask me to come and lecture, and they put aside like a whole day for me, which is very cool. I was surprised because it was kind of my first major lecture, anywhere, and I was surprised at the enthusiasm of the students and the student body there. And I just decided to be as upfront and as honest as possible, while at the same time trying to impart wisdom that would be usable in their future. And we just had an amazing time from the lecture to our time. I took the entire student body into the studio, and we created from scratch a record that they all worked on in different capacities.
Wonderful.
And so that was just entirely an amazing experience.
Yeah, I was watching you drop Get Loose by the Aleems, and I think that was where the energy came from. It seemed to light the whole place up, and all the students seemed to be seriously enjoying your interaction. And when you sat down at the keyboard and you were talking them through stuff, absolutely wonderful. I wish...
One of the things that I got from my teacher, Herbie Jones, who I have to say, he took me on at age 11. Completely for free. He never charged me for a single thing. Wow. And I remember coming back to him after we had released our first record with Black Ivory, and I said, Herbie, I'm so grateful to everything you've done. What can I do to repay you? And he said to me specifically, the way that you repay me is by doing the best that you can with music. And when you find someone who is worthy, or any number of people who are worthy, to share with them as freely as I have shared with you, right? And I said, I always took that as being very, very profound, first of all. And I always, an ideal I always tried to live up to. So when I met the students at the Red Bull Music Academy, I had that dynamic in mind to try to impart as much usable knowledge as I could, just from my heart. And from the spirit of the gift of music. And a lot of the students appreciated and got that.
There was one thing you said that really did stick in my mind, actually, Leroy, and you said, and I've got it here in front of me, basically, music is art, so don't get stuck in the technology of it. I thought that was great.
Well, that's very true. The technology or the allure of it. A lot of people go into music because they want fame, they want fortune, they want to be rich or whatever.
Yeah.
And for what I consider to be the wrong reasons of getting into music. What got me into music was the love of it, how it makes you feel, how it lifts you, how it has the ability to become an emotional part of your life. All right. From very early on, that's what music did for me, and that is the driving force still within me to this day. And what I was trying to impart was to not get caught up in anything but the purity of the gift itself.
Yes.
And once you do that, that's when it will reflect itself in your music and whatever it is you're doing. The fact that you have an appreciation for what the gift of it is. So that's something that was very important to me to impart, particularly to the students of the Red Bull Music Academy.
But it certainly seemed to work, and it certainly stuck in my mind. That's for sure, sir. So that was great. I really enjoyed watching that. That was really good. I'm
surprised that 2004, and it's still playing and still getting a lot of hits, and people are still looking at it, and I'm still getting comments on my Facebook and Twitter accounts that allude to it and refer to it, and how people seem to be enjoying it and learning and getting stuff from it. So I'm real happy about that. I think about my late mentor Herbie Jones, and I sense him smiling down, on that.
Yeah, well, that's a blessing too, and very much so. The information that is imparted in that 2004 video is totally timeless and comes from the heart, and I think that's why so many people can relate to it. And that's great. Love it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. The other phone was ringing, so I just I had my assistant handling it.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, it was very cool. I mean, I love music. All right, that's what drives me. It's never been the money. It's never been the fame. It's never been anything but the allure of music, of the craft of music itself. And I'm happy to be a participant in it, and I just really want to stay true to it as possible.
I think you've done that for sure. Yeah, without a doubt.
So.
There we go. Well, I was going to ask you what you're working on right now, what current projects you've got, and what future projects you've got. And I wondered if you could perhaps tell us a little bit about those.
Sure. Well, I'm very, very happy about my previous releases of the Throwback Collection, Volume 1 and 2. And Volume 1 came out in 2007, and Volume 2 in 2010.
Yeah.
And I'm extremely pleased about the release of Continuum, which is Black Ivy's 7th album and our first studio album in some 30 years.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just really, really very happy about those occurrences. What's coming? I'm currently working on a new album for the group The Manhattans.
Yeah.
I am also working on, and I have been working on for the last 3 or so years, my big statement, which is Leroy Burgess Presents Log 2.
Wow.
And, I've managed to get all of the surviving members of Log together to participate in it. And so far we're about 8 to 9 tunes in, and it's coming out amazing. I'm hoping for a 2014 release of the singles and the album.
Wow.
But it's just coming out amazing. So that's what's on the radar for me in terms of my future, God willing.
That sounds great, and we'll certainly be looking out for that. That's great, Log 2. Wow. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you. I just wanted to explain a little bit more to you about what we were going to do. We're going to.
It's been a joy talking with you too as well, Gloss. I thank you for your interest. Thank you for the call, and thank you for the opportunity to share this with you. Share this moment.
Oh, it's been wonderful. Thank you very much, and thank you for your top 20 tunes.
Okay.
That's really good. These are favourites of yours. What we're going to do is we're going to do your week feature, where we're going to play a number of tunes that you were involved in or you're on throughout the week. But with your top 20, we're going to do a Leroy Burgess special, which will be next Tuesday night here in the UK.
Wow.
And we're going to play your 20 tunes on that show and sections from this interview that pertain to bits of those tunes. So we can't.
I stopped at 20. I just, because 20 was the number that you gave me, but I stopped at 20. There are other tunes or more tunes that I would have included in that list. But the number was set at between 18 and 20, so I stayed there. But there's a lot more. There's several more songs that I actually, had to juggle. Do I like this one better? Do I like that one? Which one is it? So, anyway.
Well, send us the rest.
I look forward to when you do that, and certainly please send me the links and so forth and so on, so that I can inform my fan base of when to look out for it.
Oh, absolutely. And if you want to send us the rest of those tracks, please do.
Oh, the other ones I like?
Yeah, because we're gonna do a special on it. So, if it becomes 3 hours, it becomes 3 hours. So, we'll schedule it in and play it on the station. So that'll be brilliant. If you want to do that, then please.
Sure, I'll do an amendment to the list.
Marvellous. That'll be brilliant. We'll seriously look forward to that. Well, I'm conscious that we've taken up a huge amount of your time, and I can only thank you for that.
It's been a pleasure. It really has. I'm really grateful for, because it's your time too.
Well,
so let's say it's our time, and I can't have spent it in a better way.
Oh, that's brilliant. I, like you, for the love of music, that time is not all that relevant. It's it's all about
and then I did put aside a block of my time today just to do this, so that we would have all the time we needed.
That's absolutely fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic, Leroy. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to do the featured week on The Breakfast Show, and I can't wait to do the Leroy Burgess special next week. It'll be absolutely awesome.
Well, Gloss, thank you so much. And are you still recording, by the way?
Yep, certainly are, sir.
Okay, one thing I would like to say to all of the supporters, fans, people who have enjoyed my work, people who have given my work the time of day, and lent ear to some of the things that I've tried to do. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for just giving me a little of their time, and I hope that I'm providing something that it becomes close to them. But I really do genuinely appreciate each and every person that spends a little time with my work and, a little of their time. So I'm really, really grateful for that.
That's absolutely lovely. And there are many of them here in the UK that absolutely love what you do.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brother DJ Gloss. And again, God bless you.
And God bless you too, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And perhaps when Log 2 comes out, we can talk again.
Oh, I look forward to that.
That would be absolutely...
I look forward to that because I want to do. I want everybody to know about Law 2 and be on top of it.
Wonderful. That's absolutely great. Thank you very much, Mr. Leroy Burgess.
God bless, man. And thank you.
God bless you too. Take care now. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
Be blessed. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye. Leroy Burgess. Absolutely fantastic. Loved talking to him. The conversation was just short of an hour, and you heard the footage there in the interview. You also heard the footage from that interview on Tuesday night's Leroy Burgess special. A very, very special feature this week, and I think we've had an absolutely fantastic week with an absolutely fantastic performer, Mr. Leroy Burgess. And a big thanks going out to him, going out especially to Anna for organising and making sure that everything happened when it was supposed to happen. And also thanks going out to DLC for, first of all, putting us in touch with Leroy Burgess last year, and then following up in his conversations with him to get the ball rolling and get us into the interview. So there you go.
Glossy. This is Sound Fusion Radio with DJ Gloss.